What's going on? My name is Enoch. This is my brother James. This is the Blood Brothers Podcast. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Blood Brothers Podcast. You know how we do. Before we get going, let's start this thing off right. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity. Use us right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
A to the men.
What's good, bro?
You know, the mission statement stays consistent because we consistent like that.
Mm-hmm.
Empowering men to become leaders in society under God's law. Consequently, women, children, and men will understand the foundations of what it is to be a real man. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, last week, we talked on foundations of relationships.
True.
So, now we're going to take that a step further and really dive deep into different types of relationships.
Okay.
So, today we're going to talk about friendships. Yeah, we're going to get right into it.
Yeah,
and we're going to talk about how everything that we talked about, if you haven't seen the last episode about the foundations of relationships, we're going to talk about how that incorporates into friendships.
Okay.
So, my friend, you are my friend.
True. That's all facts.
Yeah, we are legit friends.
Facts.
And our level of friendship started, I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to see where your memory is at.
Yeah.
Okay. Foundation is very important. If you notice about me and you, our friendship, our foundation is almost like a building foundation. We're always pushing each other, trying to get stronger, trying to get better.
True.
Right?
True.
Now, do you know where that stems from?
That stems from rec.
Working out.
Working
I was
out.
seeing if you was gonna have your memory.
Working out at rec.
Oh
when the
man,
football
that's
team-
crazy. I didn't even know you was gonna know that. I didn't even. Let me break it down. Let me break it down. All right, so me and James, we ran in the same circles, so we always knew each other, and that was good, bro. What up? So it took when was that middle school?
Nah, I was in 8th grade. You was in 9th grade. Cause
Okay.
It was older dude
Yeah.
in the weight room.
Yeah. So there's this thing, I don't know where whoever listens from, this thing called rec during the summertime where there's the weight room open and the basketball gym open. So I was getting ready for football season. He was obviously doing his basketball thing. So I would see him like, yo, bro, come through in the weight room. So
No. I came to the weight room.
Yeah, you came. I was like, yo, what you doing? I like, what you doing in here? You supposed to be playing ball. He's like, nah, I'm trying to get some weights. I'm like, I bet. So we gonna get it together. He's like, all right. Then we started doing the curls, the 21s.
Facts.
Know what I mean? That's that foundation started. So that was the summer. He'll be like, I'll be back. I'm about to go play ball. He'll go play ball, then come back and work out. So then that summer was over. Then you went to private school. I went to school. Then by senior year, you came back. We started having classes together. We still was seeing each other around the way. We were still cool, running the same circles. Then you went away to college. You started getting your weight up some more. Then I would see you again like, yo, bro, you getting your weight up. That's what's up. Man. Then finally we met up again at LA Fitness.
Which one?
Levittown.
Facts.
Levittown. So then from there is kind of where we put it all together. From that day on, we was pretty much unbreakable.
Nah, that's a fact. I don't remember us having no breaks after that.
Exactly. No breaks after that. Because we had break from school. You went to private school, then you went to college. Fact. Then after that, once we met up again at LA Fitness, we just bonded like, yo, what's up? It was good. I didn't know you was here. All right. You want to get it? Let's get it. So fast forward into where we are now. Our foundation started on us pushing each other and building each other.
True.
So when you look at where we are now, and it kind of go back to how you started with your friend, how that foundation is. It's kind of what leads you to where you're going to be.
True.
And I say because of that foundation of weight room, I think that's why we're so solid now.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I remember because I was playing ball in LA. We was going during the day, and that's when you was working back at the sanitation. So you used to come early. You would come in after work.
Yeah.
So I'm working out. I'm like, yo, I think that's E. And I think PJ had came that day.
Yeah.
So we was all in there, whatever. And then I'm like, oh, you working out? Like, yeah. So then we started with a shoulder routine. I'll never forget. We started with the shoulder. I still got the video, actually. That's the
yeah, I got it too.
So whatever. And then it was like electric.
Yeah,
it was weird.
It was like, all right.
It was electric. Cause I mean, me personally, I grew up in a big family, so I had 2 brothers and sisters. So I was always used to being around people, right? But what happened was lifting weights and physical fitness became such a personal journey for me. And for what it did for my mental, that I wouldn't let a lot of people in.
Yeah.
So even though I would work out, I wouldn't work out with a lot of people. That was never my thing. I really never had a workout partner because I was just like, I don't think that they're gonna take the same approach I am. Yeah. And for that would bother me, right? I don't. When I'm working out, I want to get to it. I don't want you on your cell phone. I want you locked in on what we're doing. We building. We getting stronger, and we moving forward. So to meet somebody who had that same determination, and drive, and that same focus, it was like, I bet I could get with this. And then it helped that we knew each other throughout the years, so it wasn't a random person I was just hitting up like yo this or yo that. And I think where did we start off at? I'm trying to think. Did we start off? We started off at LA. Then we went to Omni.
We did. Did we do
Retro for a minute?
Did we expos for a little bit?
No, we never hit expos. We never did expo.
Nah. That was you. You was going there on your.
I was still going to expo. I was still going to expo.
Yeah.
But long term, boom, we did Omni. Then we went to Sparta, and then you moved to North Carolina, and it was like, all right, that was it. You know what I'm saying? But I think our foundation was so solid. Even though you moved, like I was sad that you moved, but for you to go get a crib with your family and build, and I knew. See, I knew that experience was the most beneficial part of your life. I think, to be honest with you, I think outside of marrying Kayla, I think you moving was the biggest decision of your life.
Yeah, it was.
I think I could honestly say that, but I knew because I was living on my own what it did for me mentally.
Yeah, you told me that too. Like, yo, it's gonna be different.
It's different, and the maturity process that you take when you live on your own is totally different than when you live with mom and dad. Right. So even though I didn't want you to go, I knew you had to go. And I didn't want to be that friend that would ever throw any kind of shade. And I am the person, if I feel like you're doing something wrong, I'm be like, yo, but I knew internally, like, listen, he needs to go because this is where he's gonna find himself. Not saying you didn't know who you were, but your maturation process, you had to break away from your home and your family and just be by yourself, because what happens is when you live by yourself, you become an independent thinker. And a lot of things that made sense when you were younger become very minute, and a lot of it doesn't make sense.
That's true.
You question a lot of things. So I understood that, but as far as our friendship, I feel like it hasn't changed. Oh, we don't see each other as much.
But we might have gotten closer since we moved.
I could honestly say that. I think we actually got closer since you moved, because we have more dialogue, and although we spent a lot of time in the gym together, we didn't spend any real personal time together. It was more like we did, but it wasn't so much of like being on the phone. I think when we really transitioned was when I was doing Uber and I was working early. We were spending no time anyway, but then we started talking like 5 hours a day. Like we literally just locking in for 5 hours a day, and actually gave birth to our podcast, realistically.
Exactly.
But to think about when we were kids and to watch us mature and see, the evolution. And let me think, before you moved, I had Cam when I was 20. So you was pretty much, he was around for Cam's whole life. So
pretty much.
My whole fatherhood experience, you was there. So me realizing that, and I'm a big person when it comes to friends. I'm very like stern. I don't play with clowns. Right? I don't affiliate myself with clowns. any dude you see around me, they're gonna be quality people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they're not, they won't be around me anymore, or whatever the case may be. But I take great pride in it. So I guess let's get to the first subject. What do you think makes a valuable friendship? Or like, what are the concepts or the principles that make a valuable or brings value to a friendship? That's the best way to word it.
I think there needs to be a mutual agreement in a sense.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is your morals kind of have to align.
Kinda have to.
I mean,
kinda.
When I say kinda, I mean, like, let's say you like a certain thing, but I love a certain thing. We're kinda, you know what I'm saying, in that sense. But if we're complete opposites in our belief systems and how we feel about life in general, it's kind of hard to mesh. It's almost like, you see how we had a strong foundation as our friendship started. There are friendships that also have the opposite, where they had a bad foundation. There's a lot of friends that say, like, yeah, we used to have beef first, then we became friends.
True.
And in those relationships, sometimes you'll notice that they argue a little bit more. There's a little more, I wouldn't say jealousy, but envy, like more competition.
Yeah, very competitive.
You know what I'm saying? So the foundation kind of aligns with where the relationship goes further on. And I've noticed that.
I think when it comes to the foundations of a friendship, I think the underlying current to it is, I think it's belief, right?
Yeah.
And when I say belief, I don't mean it in the sense of a religious context. I mean it in the sense of it's very attractive when somebody believes in you.
Yeah. Like, I really want you to do good. Yeah.
It's a very attractive trait, whether it's male or female. Because I have two girls that are my friends, and granted, they're cool with my wife too. I don't, any of your friends I have are cool with my wife, because that's a law. We'll get into that with marriage. But across the board, anybody who I'm genuinely friends with, I really want the best for them. It's not It's not for it's not with any hidden agendas, right? I genuinely want my friends to do well in life, and not just financially. I'm talking about mentally. I'm talking about families. I'm talking about just overall lifestyle. I want it to be healthy and productive. So when I say the underlying current, I mean your hidden agenda. Right? What's your hidden agenda for your friend? Right? Do you subconsciously want your friend to do bad? Right? So that way you can have one up over them, or that competition that you're speaking of. Or do you feel, I always think about, if I tell somebody I'm in a rut or I'm in a bad situation, I always try to think, like, are they happy that I'm in a rut? Right? Are they like taking pride in, like, oh yeah, you struggling, or like, I'm not struggling, right? Or whatever it is. So I believe that's the underlying current. And I believe the reason why I say the foundation is because eventually the truth comes out. So if you have that hidden agenda, eventually life will show it. Circumstances in life will prove it. And then you'll see the what you thought was a concrete foundation, you'll see a crack in it. And then that's when you decide whether, the friendship is worth repairing, or was it even a friendship to begin with, realistically.
Yeah, and that's why, going back to the first episode, knowing who you are in the relationship.
Facts.
Like, for an example, with my four best men, when y'all turn 30, for me, I wanted to give y'all something, right?
Facts.
Now, I know that's who I am.
Yeah.
Now, if when I turn 30 and I don't get nothing and I get upset, that's on you. Why are you upset? You should know you're the one that want to give things. So now if you don't get it back and you're expecting something that aren't from your people, why are you getting upset? Because it's you. So now your motive, if I'm doing something to get something.
Yeah.
And that's a bad trait to have.
That's a terrible trait to have.
With any of your friends, you should not be doing something to get something back. Yeah. That's not a friend. That's not even a business partner. That's just
no, it could be. It could be considered a business partner, because you meet. I do something for you, you do for me, right?
Yeah.
And I think what really shows the character of your friend is your success,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because no matter how successful I become, if the people that are close to me aren't becoming successful, there's only two things that are gonna happen. I'm either gonna ask you, what are you doing with yourself?
Yeah.
And let's get it together,
Yeah.
or we're gonna part ways. Because you don't want to ever be dead luggage to your friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be straggling behind, because what that's slowly gonna cause is envy. Like, you see your friend excelling, right?
Yeah.
Hitting new levels, doing new things, experiencing new things. So what happens is their conversation and their language becomes different, and you can't translate it because you are not elevating yourself. So example would be, I could be like, yeah, I'm in school, bro, and you'd be like, yeah, man, this house stuff is stressing me out, like, and I'd be like, yo, school's stressing me out, right?
Yeah.
But it's an elevational talk.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you can't. I always
There's
look
the
at
growth in it.
exactly the growth in your friendship, the evolution of your friendship. So you can track us back to Uniondale High School, and it's almost like you can track the weight room sessions to the growth of our friendship, right?
Exactly.
To the point where it really don't matter whether we working out or we just having a normal conversation. We build it, right?
Yeah.
So when you married Kayla, I'm like, do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you sure? Do it. You know, I'm not gonna be the one, and I support that. Or when I say, yo, I'm gonna go back to school, you like, yo, go for it. Or when I say, yo, bro, I'm thinking about this podcast, yo, let's do it. Like, nah.
Yeah.
But those are the type of people you want in your life that is gonna support positive attributes in your life.
Yeah.
Keyword, positive. Keyword.
Yeah.
Right?
And another thing is too, you need to be able to know what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. For an example, you have to know where the line is. Like, for an example, what is that thing that's like, all right, I can't deal with you. You have to know the little things and the big things. Like, with me and you, I'm very big on time. You're not. That's not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Those things that are deal breakers, you know what I'm saying? Those things that are deal breakers, you have to be aware of in your relationship. You know what I'm saying? What are the deal breakers? Why are you dealing with somebody that does something that is a deal breaker for you, but you're just still there? Those little things. It's like, oh, I ain't worried about that. Oh, but now when it comes to how your character, how you carry yourself, like, for an example, if you were someone that you cheat on your wife daily, you're not loyal to anybody, there's a very small chance that we would be at the level we are now. If that's not who I am.
Yeah, I don't think we would be friends.
Yeah, because at a certain point, we would start to just naturally break away from each other.
Lifestyle.
Exactly. So that's why the conversation I'm having with my friends is like, all right, so what's next? What are you doing? Like, we talked about my boy trying to get married. Okay, what's next? You trying to get the ring? What's next? And I had a specific conversation with him the other day, and I told him, he was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give you advice, but you got to pick which one you want. I said, I can give you the fatherly, straightforward advice, or I can give you the best friend, brotherly advice. And what the difference in those advices would be, like, in a fatherly advice, it would be more so, look at it from this angle. This is how I see it, but this is also how I see it. Now you choose which one you want. And now I think he understood where I was going to go with it, because he said automatically, no, I already got it. I'm just trying to, it's a timing thing. I'm like, okay, as long as it's a timing thing, not a you questioning yourself thing, then I'm okay with that. You're trying to pick the timing. So it's little things like that where you have to understand where I can step in and say something and back off, because you don't, at the same time, we want you to say what you need to say to your friend, but you don't want to be that nagging friend that's always picking at every little thing that they're doing wrong.
That's true. That's true.
You don't want to be that.
No. I don't think anybody wants to be that. But what I will say is this. If you find yourself nitpicking somebody, right, and having these issues with them, there's probably an underlying bigger issue. So you probably want to address that.
Yeah.
And
if that is the case, then you probably are not gonna really be friends. I mean, in retrospect, because your foundation, there's some cracks in your foundation, and the beauty of friends, and what I love the most about friends is the fact that I can choose them. Right? That's a gift. That's a gift from God. You can choose your friends. Now, anybody who's close to me, I got what? I got 4 of you guys that are really, y'all my dogs. Like, you know what I mean? Where I can build with you guys, and I'll just be honest with you. You know, regardless of the situation, I'll just be honest with you. So for me, I've always been conscious of make sure I pick the right friends. Like, what do I want out of a friend? And what means, like you said, what is the deal breaks, but what means something to me? So for me personally, right, I do want all my friends to be married. I do want all my friends to have kids. 100%. I want them to have a family. I want them to be successful businessmen. I'm not a big 9-to-5 guy. I much rather we become something together, right? But at the same time, a deal breaker for me would be if one of my close friends cheated on his wife. Or
do you want to speak on that?
Or if I'll speak on it, but or if she even has to question it. See, I operate under kingdom law, so it's totally different for me. In the kingdom, cheating is in the mind. It's not the physical action. So if in your mind you took it further enough that your spouse could actually feel the heat of it, you took it too far. Right? And a lot of people go, no, it's the action. No. It's the mentality. See, I'm a big mental focus type of individual. So I'm always concerned about what's going on in your brain. What are you thinking about? Because that's the source of all your decisions. Now, if your mind is what's the best way to put it? If you're double-minded, there we go. Right? That means ultimately I can't trust you because I don't even know who I'm dealing with. Right? And for me, just me specifically, I'm a very consistent person. Anybody who really knows, they're gonna be like, nah, that seems about right. I actually got a compliment. I'm not gonna throw no names out there, but I was in a situation, right? I was at a barbecue, and somebody came to me and said, yo, I don't know how you stay so focused, right? And I'm like, what do you mean stay so focused? I was so confused. Let me remind you, I'm with my wife and my 2 kids, and we just vibing at the pool, and the man comes up to me, yo, I don't know how you stay so focused with all these young things running around here, right? Literally, he seen my reaction, and he tried to change the whole subject. I said, what? Like, what do you mean? I said, I'm not worried about none of that. And he's like, oh yeah, man, yo, I meant to introduce myself. My name is blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, what's good, man? What up? Right? Here's where the compliment came in. He went back and told somebody that actually knows me, right? And they said it to the person in a joking manner. And the person responded, you must not know who he is. That's the wrong person, right? When you start getting those type of responses from people, like, that's not even in his DNA. That's when you know you're setting the bar very high. And people know you're not going to break. You're not going to bend from that. And I think with me, it's hard for me because I don't want to put pressure on my friends to have those standards, but at the same time, I'm not going to ignore the standards that I live by either.
Let me ask you something. Now, in that situation where you had a friend and his marriage had some questions, why wasn't that able to be repaired?
For me specifically,
your friendship with them.
For me specifically, it wasn't it was a multi-layered approach. Right? I identified the problem long before it came about. And I gave warning to it. Right? So me, I don't ever want my friend to put himself on the front line of anything that will hurt him or his family. So in my warning, it was more of, yo, be careful, son. It's don't go down that road, right? And because I think I talked about it prior with the person, and we really, and it wasn't any kind of accountability behind it, and it was just more pointing fingers. It got to a point where I'm like, you know what? Regardless of the situation, I prefer just to keep it, what's good, and keep it pushing. Like, I won't have beef, because at the end of the day, it's your life.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that, right? And I'm not going to disrespect, because I obviously have love for the family and the person, obviously. So I'm never going to go to like, I'm never speaking to you again. If I see you, I'll say, what up, keep pushing. But as far as the intimacy of our relationship, I can't trust you, right? And for me, that's a deal breaker for me, right? The minute, I always say, if your wife has to question you, right, then I definitely have to question you. I don't care about the bros over, the word. I don't care about none of that. I care about the person and the consistent patterns that you live by. So, that's a deal breaker for me. It's not for everybody else, but for me specifically,
And the funny thing is that's a situation where you had to almost end a close friendship, right?
Yeah.
I was in almost the same situation, but the outcome changed towards the end. So for me, I had a very close friend, my best friend, and we almost lost that relationship, because when you do things that I see go back to my family, then it's like, okay, this friendship can't go no further. So I started distancing myself. And what ultimately saved that relationship was what failed in your relationship. He showed accountability. He came back with apologies and seeing the wrong in what he did. So, and I feel like that's the difference there. Because if you can show me that you can change from your mistakes and take accountability for what you did, then okay, I can deal with that. But if you're in a situation with you where they show no accountability, they show no form of what they did wrong, it's hard to repair that friendship.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I think accountability is such a valuable asset to live by. And I say this from a personal perspective. Accountability actually saved my mentality. Like, it saved it almost saved my life in a way. Right? Because I mean, obviously, when I was younger, I wasn't the person that I am now.
Exactly. Yeah, of course.
Right. And granted, people believe, like, you're young, you make mistakes, whatever. But I don't believe age defines maturity. And the fact that I knew better than what I was doing, right? I knew better than to do what I was doing. And I did it anyway. It bothers me now, because I knew even then what I was supposed to be doing. Right? But what it did, the accountability aspect of me actually acknowledging that, like, look, my age had nothing to do with my decision making. It had nothing to do with it. I just chose that decision, and these are the outcomes. It made everything a lot clearer for my future decision making. Right? So when I was younger and I did have Cam, and and I wasn't living the right lifestyle, and I love my son, don't get it twisted, tooth and nail, that's my guy. But the lifestyle I was living wasn't conducive to becoming a good father. Right? And I had to look at myself, not the person I had I had the child with, or what I did. I had to really look at myself and say, yo, bro, granted, whatever the case may be, you do realize you were a dirtbag. Like you was really a foul person. You was a liar. You was a cheater. Like, what God you serve? Because if that's what you giving out, then people gonna look at you like a hypocrite. And I had to do deep soul searching to even get to the root of where did all of this come from. And obviously it traces back to your childhood. And it was, and here's another thing. This is where you go into the levels of accountability. I see my father do the same thing I did. Right? But I didn't blame him. I didn't go, yo, my pops did it, so that's why I did it. I said, if I said this to myself, I said, you should have known better because you remember how you felt when you seen your father do that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started really looking from that lens, it hurt, don't get it twisted, it hurt, but it allowed my mind to elevate and be free from the burden of trying to point fingers, right? So when I look at friends, it's like
that's important. That's important.
Yeah, I mean, look, truth of the matter is, if you're pointing fingers, it's a burden because you're not getting to the root of the problem. All your decisions as a person stems from your own mentality. You can't blame your mom, your dad, your friend. You can't blame them for it. You made that decision. So when I started looking at it like that, I started just changing my patterns. When I started changing my patterns, my mentality changed. And then what happened? The fruits that came from the right mentality, aka my wife, my family, a podcast, a good circle of friends, investment. Now I'm like, okay, now I get what you was trying to teach me, Pops, meaning God. I get it. I get what you was trying to teach me. And I don't put that type of wisdom on age. Maybe experience, but not age, right? I hear a lot of people say that. They go, age brings wisdom. That's not necessarily 100% true.
Yeah, it's not true.
I'm 30 and I believe I'm a lot wiser than, let's just say, a lot of men who are older than me. So, it's definitely an uphill battle, but it's a fight well worth going through.
And I think that's why it's so important. Wow, before we even started to get into specific topics, we talked about your mentality. Because your mentality ultimately breeds what you want in your life. Just imagine if we still had an immature mentality. Our conversations wouldn't be strong. They'd be wishy-washy because they have no depth to it.
It would be typical conversation.
Exactly. But if you're constantly growing and then you push that onto your friend and then they pushing that back onto you, you're constantly pushing each other to be better. So you have no choice but to grow. But if you're not willing to work on yourself to continue to keep growing every single day, your conversations are going to stay at a wishy-washy level.
Very immature, non-progressional, annoying. Like, sometimes I hear people talk, I say, oh my God, just please stop talking. Just
it's like,
God, that hurt. It hurts me that you think like that. Like, like seriously, it's really one of those things. And I think that even, see, that's when it goes back to even when we were younger, right?
Yeah.
The weights is what pushed us. But now it's the conversation and the mentality that pushes. I can remember, not even joking, I can remember, and I'm still like this, but I can remember coming to you like, yo, bro, listen. I heard Dr. Miles Monroe speak, and he talking about Christianity, religion, and I'm like, yo, bro, I don't even think I believe in this stuff no more. I'm going straight kingdom. And at first, it was like, you looked at me like, boy, you're bugging.
Yeah,
right? That was the initial response to it.
Yeah.
And then as we dove more into, because we had some real, like, not arguments, but we had some heated discussions about it. Right? Where we're like, it goes back to our agenda. We both just want to know the truth, right? But we looked at that conversation, and I'm saying this, and I'm saying that, and you're looking at me like, yo, bro, listen, I get what you're saying, but first of all, you have to be able to prove it. Like, that was almost what the energy I got from you. And I'm like, what you mean prove it? This is, but you were looking at me like, listen, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I'm not about to jump out the window either. And it was like, when you took that approach, it forced me to go deeper. Right? It forced me to really do some research. Really
to be able to explain it better.
Exactly. Every time I had to explain it to you better because
you would say, I'd be like, wait, what do you mean? I don't get it. That
doesn't even make sense. You'll be like, no, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, and but now you got to the point where you're so fluent with it to where it can make sense.
Exactly. I had to learn it in a practical reason. And then what ended up happening was we realized, like, you were operating under kingdom law without even saying it because of what you were brought up in, right? You might have not identified it as that, but it became a thing where it was like, oh, that's what you meant? I already do that. Or that's and what it did was it allowed our friendship to grow on a spiritual level. So even to the point where, like, I would listen to you, I would listen to some of the stuff you're saying. I'm like, nah, I know he getting it. I like, he because it was a point where I'm like, yo, I didn't want church or people to really what's the best way to put it? Not people, but more so like the church culture dictate to the mentality that we were having, right?
Exactly.
So I kind of got off the church wave a while ago, right? And I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this. I need to know for myself. And then as our relationship started to grow, I started to listen to you talk, and I'm like, I started to think like, yo, hold on a second, where are you getting this from? I'll never forget the day when you was like, yo, you think that when God made Adam, there was more than one person?
Oh,
I was like, I'm like, yo, I never thought about that. Do you know I was stuck on that subject for like 2 weeks? Because that's how I am. And then what I did was, all I did was research the words. I'm like, when he said men, let him make men in our own image. Oh my God, he was talking about more than one. Like,
and that comes from constantly challenging your mind, constantly challenging yourself. Like I said, those deal breakers. We on the same boat. We have the same issue. Like, for example, you don't go to church. I like going to church, but we know where we stand, and there's no confusion of where we're trying to go. So even though you don't go to church, there's some people that, oh, you don't go to church? Oh, nah. It's over. I can't mess with you. But I know you.
Facts.
So, and you know me. So me going to church and you not, there's no deal breaker. There's no friction in what we do because we know the ultimate kingdom goal.
That's a fact.
So that's why you have to know your friends, know who you're dealing with, know who you are, and being able to understand each other. That communication part, that's huge. That's huge.
That might be, I mean, if the undercurrent is agenda, communication might be the concrete on top of it, right? Like, so if you're building your foundation, the undercurrent is the agenda, and then communication on top of it. Because I don't think that if we didn't know how to communicate with each other, I don't think our friendship would have lasted.
No, we would stay at a certain level.
Yeah, we definitely would have stayed at a certain level, but I don't think we would have got to this point. Because what would have happened is, even if we were immature about it, right? If I would have been like, man, you're not trying to hear what I'm saying, so whatever. You believe what you want, I'm going to believe what I want. And that's it. Right? It would have stumped us. But because we were in constant evolution mode, where it's like, nah, we got to figure out this truth. Like, we need the truth. I don't care about being cute. I don't care about being right. I want to know what is God's truth, not my own truth. Show me your truth. And because we got on that type of mentality, and we adopted that philosophy of like, we always going to evolve, it turned into, I don't even want to say, because friendship, yes, is a friendship, but we're like family, blood brothers, right? Huh?
Turned into blood brothers.
Right, turned into blood brothers. We're family. I mean, anybody who's really close, I treat my family, because another thing too about me is I don't let a lot of people in. I'm very protective over my circle. So because of that, I'm very conscious of who I let in. That's just how I am. I'm not, for example, when we go to the gym, when we used to go to the gym, right? Me, I would put my headphones on. I wouldn't say nothing to nobody. I would walk right to the bench. Enoch, yo, what's good, y'all? Yo, what's up, man? Yo, everybody good, my brother? And I used to look at him, yo, E, come on. And we balanced off each other because he wanted to say hi. Well, it not really wasn't. Enoch is just a very nice person. I'm not saying I'm mean. I'm just not as friendly. Right? I'm just not. So I'll be looking at him like, yo, come on, bro. And he'd be like, oh, I gotta go, y'all. You know what I mean? But that'll get him out of the conversation. So we balance each other. You know what I mean? But I would say the next thing I want to talk about, right, is you spoke about this earlier. You said you're kind of in contract. This is in the beginning, right? So this actually proves the point that we're addressing right now, where I say I have a kingdom mentality. So when I hear contract, let me tell you where my brain goes. I go to covenant, blood covenant. Automatically, when I hear contract, I go to covenant. So subconsciously, you're saying contract, I'm saying covenant, which is the same thing, right? Exactly. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a covenant with one another that has guidelines that allows us to operate effectively in our friendship. Right? And I guess the question I would ask you is, what do you think about the saying, what is it? A birds of the same feather flock together. What do you think about that?
I think that's so true. I think that's so true. And I didn't always see it that way because there was a point in my life where I was hanging around all the time, people that smoke weed all the time, but I didn't smoke weed. And people would say that, you know, the people you hang around, and I'd be like, nah, because I'm around it, I'm still close to it, but that's just not what I do. But when I'm outside of that circle, if you come around me, all you can smell is the weed on me. So now it's like, well, that's not you, but my initial of you is all I smell is weed. So now it's like, that's your circle. So then it's like, huh, that is right. So now when I look later in life, if you're a man and you're hanging around a bunch of single men, but you're trying to get married, it's going to be that much more harder for you to make that decision if you're not around men that are married or trying to get married. Because if I'm over here trying to get married, but every time my friends hit me up like, yo, let's go to the club. Yo, I got this joint, I got this joint, I got her. And you're never having that conversation of, yo, marriage is serious, man. Yo, make sure you handling your business. You're never having that conversation with anybody. So how are you growing in that area if your whole surrounding is the opposite? So it's very important that you're around people that are like-minded. Because if you're not, you're going to get deterred from where you're trying to go. And you're just going to be like, whatever. It is what it is. Whatever happens, happens.
Yo, you just cursed, though. You just cursed again. You said trying.
Yeah, trying. Now you're trying because you don't know anything else, because you don't have that. You don't have a group of people that's on that growth mentality to where the direction you're trying to go. Like I said, that relationship. You're in a relationship with people that are on different ships. And y'all not going to go in the same direction. So if you're all on the same ship, we all on the same ship. We want prosperous marriage. We want financial freedom. We all want that. So we're all on the same ship. But if you're with somebody I'm not trying to get that, I'm good where I'm at. I'm good with the 9 to 5. So now it's like either you're going to have to jump off the ship or I'm going to have to jump off the ship because I'm not about to crash with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's where that comes from.
So let me ask you this then. When you choose your friends, what is the criteria for your friends then?
The criteria, well, for me, I would say with all of my core 4 friends that I have now, it built organically. The foundation started off either with sports or with weights in that area. So we built kind of a team mentality. So it was always a growth thing. Now, people that I've met along the way growing up, the foundation isn't that strong. Like, for an example, if I see somebody post something on social media, I'm like, yo, he's bugging. Yeah, I want to hit him up and say something. But then I'm like, I can't hit him up. I'm not even cool with him like that. But if I see him, we cool.
So what exactly bothers you on Instagram that people post?
We gotta save that for relationship series.
All right, fine. We'll wait for that.
Because I don't want to jump into that yet. Because if we go there, we gonna have to go all the way.
All right,
there.
That's cool. Listen, no harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. So let me ask you this then: what is your cutoff point, right? When do you know, like, all right, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm superseding anything that, you know, I imagined, and I'm trying to even get to a higher level, and you're just not cutting it. How do you know when it's time?
When the conversation doesn't change. When your response doesn't change. When I'm telling you something that's a growth matter, that's a solution based, and I'm still getting the same, man, I'm trying, bro. I mean, we'll see. When I see no growth. The minute that I see you're not trying to get past this level. I'm trying to help you. And you're comfortable with staying where you are. Yeah. That's when it's like, all right, we cool, bro. There's nothing against you, but where I'm going, you can't come with me. So now that level, you stay there.
Let me ask you this then. So what do you say to people who say you're supposed to stick it out with your friend and you're supposed to help them get to that point? That's what friends do. Friends are supposed to be there for you to help you get to that point. What do you say to those people?
Okay. I would say this. There's a thing called insanity. You're doing the same thing and it's not working. If I'm telling you that you're doing the same thing and it's not working, and you're doing it over and over and over and over, and I'm trying to help you and you're not growing, at some point, everyone has a limit. Even I have a limit. And you know, I try my best to hold people down as long as possible.
You do.
So if I get to the point where, yo, you really not gonna get it, then I have to fall back. Now, I'm not saying when I fall back, like I'm automatically done with you. Now, if I fall back and you start coming towards me now,
mm-hmm.
and I see that growth, then it's like, okay, now I can meet you.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm always 90% and you're 10%, at some point, I can't raise you. I got a family. I can't raise you anymore.
Would you say raise them?
Yeah, I can't keep raising you. I'm trying to raise your level. I'm trying to raise your bar of expectation. At some point, I'm going to have to be mature enough to say, he don't get it. Why doesn't he get it? He doesn't want to. So you know what? I'm going to fall back and let him learn for himself. Because obviously what I'm doing, it's not working. And I'm not going to play God here. So you do what you got to do. I'm still here for you if you want that. But if you don't, I have to fall back.
So I think that's where me and you are different, right? So a lot of people tell me I'm very cutthroat when it comes to my relationships. And it's like, it's not that I'm cutthroat. I just don't like, I don't want to carry nobody's weight.
Yeah.
Right? And because I am so invested in my friends.
Yeah.
I think I speak to my closest friends. I probably talk to them. I mean, I definitely talk to, I pretty much talk to everybody every day.
Yeah.
Right, whether it's business or just checking up on them or just whatever. I'm very invested in my friends.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a lot more personal if you're not trying to grow. And because of that, I'm more prone to say, listen, I'm too invested into you as a friend, and I much rather put this energy somewhere else. Right? I don't know, and it's just the way my mind operates. I'm very one-track minded, and it comes with anything. Like even this week, like I had a lot of schoolwork to do. I couldn't even get on the conference call or shoot the day we were supposed to shoot because I'm like, yo, if I don't focus, I'm not gonna be able to finish these papers.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do things. I'm not a good multitasker. I'm just not.
Yeah.
And because I know that about myself, I'm always conscious of how I deal with my friends. So let's just say, for example, if I'm working out with my friends and they're on their phones, I'm like, yo, put your phone away. Focus on the workout. Or if we're talking and you're on your phone, like focus on what we're doing and then go to the next thing. But the reason why I'm like that is because I believe in mastery. Like I believe that you should want to be a master at, I don't want to say everything, but you should want to at least master one thing to the point where it's subconsciously second nature.
Yeah.
Right. So what I took pride in is mastering being focused. And for me, I had to do that because it's hard for me to be focused. So I had to make a conscious effort to go, this is what I'm focusing on. And I don't want any distractions when it comes to this. And when I put my energy into something, I'm fully invested. I'm focused on that. So I wanted to master the ability to focus more than anything else, because I believe that when you can focus your energy on something, it can come to fruition. So if we're focusing on buying property, that's literally all I'm thinking about, right?
Yeah.
And I'm focused on that, and I believe it's gonna happen. And not only do I believe it's gonna happen, I'm gonna go make it happen.
Do the things to make it happen.
Exactly, because remember, when your focus is so, it's called hyper focus, where it's like
when your focus goes, your energy goes.
Exactly.
Energy flows.
Exactly. And it's a hyper focus where it's intensified to the point it almost feels real. Like what you're imagining literally almost feels has substantial value to you. Like you can see it even though it is not there yet. And I think because I took that approach I had to start at such an early age in my life because I was always worried about failing. I mean, more so when it came down to becoming a father, I just took on that approach. I can't fail. So I needed to learn how not to fail. And what I realized is that people who possess the ability to focus at a high level, they usually maximize all opportunities to the highest degree. And once I realized that, I said, okay, how can I focus? So people call me crazy. Let me tell you, when I met Marielle, I used to, this is the evolution of my brain. I'm going to just spill real quick. I used to listen to gospel music every night because I wanted the words of love towards God to just play in my head. And I actually got that method because sometimes I would fall asleep listening to rap music. Yeah. And when I would wake up, the words would be in my head. I'm like, yo, why are words in my head? I'm like,
walking around mumbling the raps. You be like, yo, why is that song in my head right now?
Thinking it, right? So what I did was I said, okay, if that works for this,
I'm gonna counter it.
Work for this.
Yeah.
So for years and years, I did the same thing. So I said, all right, bet. If it works for music, it has to work for sermons. Boom, same principle.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I daydream and it's the words playing in my head.
Exactly.
So then when I got to the point where I'm like, listen, I need to know about this kingdom and how this works, I said, all right, bet. Let me learn how the kingdom works. And that's when I started playing Miles and Row and over and over. So then the principle started to play in my head constantly over and over. So what it does is it's what I call repentance. It's the renewing of the mind. People think repentance is, oh, I'm sorry, God, I did this and that. Repentance simply just means renewing of your mind. So I repented in the sense of I wanted to align my thoughts with kingdom principle. So I was hyper focused on what the principles are that I want to live by. And subconsciously, it adopted the philosophies. So the words that I speak reflect what's in my mind. And that's where life and death is in the power of the tongue, because now you're actually speaking things that are not, because you have the philosophy of the kingdom. So when I met Marielle and we was going to bed, I'm like, listen, I'm just warning you now, you know, this is what I do. And she thought it was a little weird, but at the same time, my actions started to show how I operate, right? And I have to stay consistent on my agenda and stay consistent with my patterns. Because remember, patterns actually the proof of your mentality. It's not one action, it's not two actions, and it's definitely not the words that you speak. That doesn't prove your pattern. You should be able to speak by living a certain lifestyle, and that's enough, right? Your lifestyle should speak to who you are.
Yeah.
If nobody knew me and I didn't say a word, and they see me with my family, they go, that's a man who loves his family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If they see me interact with another woman, they go, that's a man that doesn't cheat on his wife.
Exactly.
You can just tell by the energy that I'm giving, the conversation that I'm giving. So because I got so conscious of that, I wanted it to be in my subconscious mind to the point where even if hypothetically right now it's crazy because I'm talking and I'm thinking about what I'm learning through kingdom law.
Yeah.
And as I'm talking, this is what's flowing through my head.
Yeah.
Principles, lifestyle, government, authority, dominion, rulership. These are the things that are flowing through my head, but I train my mind to understand how these things work. They're in my hard drive in the sense of, what are you wired with? What is your foundation? What lives in your mind? What governs your mind? So long term, it allowed me to look at my friends, and I'm good with identifying where they are mentally, right? So I can have a conversation with my friend, and I won't go based off his conversation. I'll go based off his patterns. So he can say, yo, I'm good. But I'll be like, I don't know, because the last 6 days, you know, you were doing this, or you were bringing bad energy, or something's wrong. And the same thing goes with my wife. I study the people that are around me because I'm so close to them. And I don't ever want them to think, I don't ever want to come off like I don't care.
Yeah.
Because that's never it. It's never, I can guarantee you, if I approach a situation, it's because I actually care. When I actually never say nothing.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I think it's very important when you have a certain level of friendship, you have to hold each other to a standard. It's okay to have a higher expectation, a higher standard for your friend, because that only pushes them to be better. Now, if we're never if I see you doing something and I'm like I can tell you if something in your relationship with your wife, I'm like, bro, you're wrong.
Facts.
I got to be able to tell you you're wrong.
Yeah.
So now you can look at it and say, let me see. You know what? Maybe he was right. But now if you don't have that maturity, you're always going to be like, nah, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. You bugging. But if we automatically know, we have that set where, no, he's looking out for my best interest. You're looking out for my best interest. I want you to win. You want me to win. If that's not established in a relationship, it'll always be rocky when you criticize me or give me some type of correction, because now it's like, you hating, bro? Or like, are you hating? Or like, but if you don't have that set to where, no, I can take criticism from him. I can criticize all my friends because I expect the same from them. And you gotta have that built, because if you don't, you'll never be able to grow, and your friendship, you're two is better than one. I can cover your back, you can cover my back.
Facts.
You got to be able to build that friendship to that standard to where I know he's gonna look out for me, so I'm gonna look out for him too.
No, I definitely agree with that 100%. I just think that a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves, so it's hard to be honest with others, right?
Yeah.
And even more than that, to take it a step further, if your lifestyle doesn't match what you're saying, you can't criticize, or I don't even want to call it criticize. You can't throw correction out at all.
Yeah.
Because who are you? And I hear this a lot. People are like, who am I to tell somebody something? Or it's a judge-free zone. No, around these parts, it's a judgment zone.
Yeah, exactly.
I judge straight up, right? Because I have standards.
Yeah.
And I judge you according to my standards.
Yeah.
And if you don't reach those standards, I'm okay with not having any kind of conversation with you, right? It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, really keep the conversation real vanilla. You good? All right, cool.
Yo, that's good, brother. You know what I mean? I'm glad you good. Anyway, continue on.
Yeah.
So when it comes to friendships and really having a genuine friend, you want to make sure that that person not only has a genuine agenda, you want to learn how they communicate. You want to learn their language. You want to learn how you guys can get the most out of one another. Because what good is a friend that is going to bring you down? Right? What is the purpose? I get to choose you. If I get to choose, I can't choose my pops, my mother, or my brothers and sisters, cousins, grandpas, nothing. But if God gave me the ability to choose a friend, right? I'm going to do my best to choose the best one possible.
Exactly.
I'm not going to settle for anything. And a lot of people, I feel like they'll take that approach when it comes to females, right? I'm not just settling for anything, but they won't take it when it comes to their friends.
Wow, that's true. That's true.
And truth of the matter is, your friends, before you get married, your friends are more important than the female. And it's not bros over the word. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you get a good female, right? A good woman, a ready to be a wife, prime real estate, right? But you got some losers around you, you're going to miss out on that opportunity.
That's true. That's true.
She is the golden ticket.
That's true. That's true.
Because you don't have the people around you that can identify, that's a good one, bro.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Don't mess that up. Don't mess it up. Listen, you know what? I know we doing this over here, but just go be with her. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Don't violate. You know, respect her, treat her good. What you should be doing off the rip anyway, which comes with maturity.
But instead you got them friends like, oh, you whip, bro. Wow. You about to go chill with her. Wow.
Come on, man. You want to chill with your homies? Like, come on, it's homies over everything. Like, you sound so stupid. Yeah. And I never seen such a generation that cares about chilling with their guy friends so much. It's literally disgusting. I have friends,
I don't get
female friends that told me like, yeah, he likes chilling with his guy friends more than he likes chilling with me.
I don't understand that. I don't understand
it, and I don't want to understand it, and I'm not even going to put any energy into trying to understand it. How about get it right? Just get it right.
Yeah.
But like, I would just say, when it comes to friends, you guys really should consider their agenda if they match the proper agenda and the proper criteria as far as your standards, then you should absolutely learn to communicate with them, because you guys can do great things. And ultimately, I really feel like this. Don't be afraid to let people go.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they take fear in letting people go. There is no friendship that is above letting go if they violate your standards.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
So, I think
that's a fact.
I think I want to ask you one more thing. So when a friend isn't up to your standards, right? And let's just say it like this. Let's say you're expecting them to be at a certain level, right? And you realize that obviously they're not getting to that level, and you identified it. You went through the process of it. You said you'll meet them halfway, right? But you realize that it was too much time apart from one another, right? How do you think you could go about rebuilding that friendship, if that's the best way to say it?
So basically, you're saying now I fell back, and now they're trying to grow, and now I'm trying to build back that friendship.
Yeah, that bond.
Well, that. I feel like that depends on where you are. If you have that time, or if you're willing to put that time in, is it worth it? If you can see the outcome of it, if you could see like, okay, if I put my time back in this is worth something great. If you see that it's not, then it's like, well, if you really wanted to get back to where it was, you're going to have to put all that effort in, because I'm at a place, you're going to have to come to where I'm at.
So if you're here, they got to
come to where you are.
Okay.
Yep, most definitely.
So basically their effort will define where this friendship goes.
Exactly.
Okay.
The actions have to prove it.
I like that.
Yeah,
well,
man.
You are my friend.
Yes, sir.
My brother.
Yes, sir.
And our kids are going to get married.
Oh, that's a fact. That's 100%.
And Leah. Make sure y'all watch this video when we get older. Right? We love y'all so much. Other than that, I think it's been a great episode.
Yeah, most definitely. We're gonna keep digging.
I definitely love having good friends, and I enjoy the people.
So important.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the people that I'm around and the people that I invest into.
Yeah.
And I just hope that the people that I am close to, please don't violate.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't violate.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not gonna front. I'm not the one.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
Snip, cut. Yeah, you done it already.
Yeah,
done it already.
It happens, man. But listen, you got something to leave with the people?
Hey, man. It's always gonna be ups and downs, man. But through everything, you gotta keep God before anything.
That's actually the key to life.
Yes, sir.
But you know me, strive for perfection. So even when you fall short, you will still be excellent. We're gonna see y'all next week. You dig?
Yes, sir.
Later.